Yeah, well, I was a long-distance tanker driver, but from the 1980s, really, but the late 1980s, up until recent years, which was basically I'd start work on a Monday, and then I'd be away up and down the road, usually till the Friday night or the Saturday. So it was living in the wagon. It was where there was, to be honest, very little exercise. A few years ago, the company I was with actually got me to wear a pedometer to see how many steps we were doing a day. We should have been doing in the region of 10,000. On one of the days, I think I only did about 250. On a Monday morning, I could leave with the sandwiches that my wife had made for me, which are usually quite healthy. But of course, they've gone lunchtime Monday. And after that, you're pretty much stuck on takeaways, or if you get to a truck stop or something, and the food in there traditionally is greasy spoon and that, which is what you ended up eating, and it was that right through the week. What we tend to find is that drivers will actually work regardless of how ill they are. They'll come into work, as I say, we've seen lots of drivers that they come in agonising toothache and things like that, and they'll just work through it, until they can get home at the weekend or something like that. The employers probably don't realise just how ill some drivers actually are, where they're going to work, because they don't tend to see them. A driver can come in at 6 o'clock in the morning on Monday and not come back to the yard till Saturday morning. So of course the office staff 9 to 5 are never going to very rarely see the drivers other than speaking to them on the phone. So they've got no way of seeing how will they actually are actually being while they're driving. I never really noticed I was getting very, very thirsty all the time. We're talking in the region here, like I was to try and lose a little bit of weight anyway. I think one of the things that I did was go from cans of, say, Coke or something to Pepsi Max or Diet Pepsi or something like that, and I was drinking can after can after can. I would say some nights it was 15 or 16 small cans a night. You don't tend to notice it. Fortunately, my wife, she noticed it. But I think one of the main things that again I didn't pick up on is last year we went to Disneyland in Paris. I went with my wife and my daughter. Normally, if we go out anywhere with them, I'm the guy that's standing outside the toilet waiting for them, to go. But on this occasion, I actually couldn't pass a toilet without going to it. I was actually actively looking for toilets on the site because I knew I'd have to go at some point. But even then, I knew I was drinking far too much. I knew that I was using the toilet far too much, but still didn't think that there was anything wrong. Suddenly started feeling quite ill this year, say last year. I went to the doctors. As soon as I went there, he said there was two major reasons he was concerned. One was that I've got this cough and I don't smoke, and the other one was that I turned up there. Because looking at my file, I think I'd gone there when I was 21 for a HGV medical. I went there when I was 25 for a medical for a company pension, and I went back when I was 45 for an HGV medical again. And so he said the fact that you turned up rather indicates that you're not a hypochondriac, but there's obviously something wrong. So he sent me for some blood tests, and then we come back, and that's when he said you've got diabetes, very high diabetes. It's from then suddenly everything starts falling into place. Just the health episodes and that you've had, things that you just think it's just one of those things. I'll be all right in the morning, and that obviously wasn't. I said I think one of the main things is that if an employer's got an open door policy, and the driver can say to him, listen, I've got such and such wrong with me, can you put me on light duties or can you facilitate me? I think if the employers were aware of that, then the chances are that the drivers can get it sorted out, can get to the doctors, they can get the proper things for it, and that they would get a lot more years out of that driver is the main thing. If you know about it, then you know how to deal with it. If you know what the signs are for it, and so you can do something about it then. Every driver's got to do a driver CPC. If that was part of the modules on that, then that, as part of the health, welfare, that sort of thing, then that would do it. If I'd have known a lot of the warning signs were, the chances are I'd have picked up on it earlier. What I would say, if I did have a flux capacitor, would be to say, make sure that however you can do it, try and get this exercise. 15 minutes a day would be okay. I wasn't even getting that. The food that you're getting. If I'd have told myself at the time that, extra salad on a kebab isn't healthy eating, that would have helped me. But that's the sort of thing that we were doing at the time. It's far too much food, far too much of the wrong food. It's not that difficult, really, to get the right kind of food. I think most people are relatively intelligent. I think if you're eating bad stuff and if you're eating too much of it. But that's what, the older me would like to tell the younger me, stop it. Start eating more fruit.